What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 84 of the Rules of Villainy podcast. Each and every, sometimes four Lumineers in the St. Louis area bring to you the latest and greatest in Disney Lorcana news and navigate ourselves through the developing meta. We're in week one of WINTERSPELL is afoot, so let's dive right in. I, of course, am Brad, aka the Mayor of Lorcana, and with me tonight, as always, Mr. Day 2 himself, ROV Andy. And hot off the enchanted chatter seat, we have the one, the only Kirsten. What's going on, guys?
Yay. Been yapping all night.
I was to say, you ready to do some more yapping?
I'm ready to yap away.
That was so delightful. I got to tune in about halfway through, and I always love when I get to tune in, see Courtney chat. The first time I did was her and Melissa from TF, and just had a blast sitting there listening to them talk about everything. And it was great to see you on there. It looked like you were having a blast.
Oh yeah, I had a great time.
I tuned in at the part of the conversation where you were talking about losing stuff at a DLC, and the first thing I commented was, I was hoping you were watching the chat, and I was like, has anybody seen my water bottle? And nobody commented about it. And then later on, the message I think deleted because it was so random, and only you would understand it if you saw it. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Dang, I wish I would have remembered to bring up the chat before it started, but then we started yapping.
Right. It was a lot.
We never stopped yapping. So
that's great. That's what it's about.
Forgot to watch the chat. I would have died laughing. That would have been a fun story to tell.
I might have ruined it. Yeah, I'm glad maybe that you did it.
I heard Kirsten.
How about you, Andy?
I heard Kirsten threaten my life after a discussion of riffle shuffling, and
oh gosh,
I was in the other room, so I really wanted to grab a stack of cards and just shuffling as loud as I could to see if I could, get her eye to twitch or her, get a tick going or something. She hates it, but riffle shuffle for life.
Push my buttons. Do not riffle shuffle enchanted.
Talk on enchanted chatter and doing riffle shuffle. Yeah. But if you're interested in checking out that conversation, like I said, it's super delightful. We'll have a link in the description below. And I think we got some news about Court as well. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Kirsten?
Trying to remember what exactly it was.
She's co-hosting.
Yeah. Oh, co-hosting the event this weekend. Yeah, she's co-hosting co-hosting the event this weekend that TFM is putting on. So that'll be super excited to tune into over the weekend. And I think she has a couple of other things that she announced on the episode with me as well. She mentioned the Hunter Memorial Tournament coming back to the Houston DFW area, as well as the Diet Coke Invitational.
Let's go.
So
Let's go.
Exciting. I always love hearing about the Diet Coke Invitational where, you just bring 12-pack of Diet Coke and you get in free and get to play. And it's so big that I think they're going to potentially get into a bigger space next season.
That's amazing
for that. So I love that for them. I think it's so much fun and can't wait to tune into all of those events and check them out. Keep hanging out.
Is that in Texas? Or I thought the Diet Coke Invitational was in like Denver or something. It's in Texas.
I think it's in Texas.
We gotta hit that one up, especially when they become a CCQ.
I know.
You imagine punching your ticket to nationals off a can of Diet Coke?
I don't think it. Yeah, that'd be crazy, right?
As you guys were talking about it, I'm like, I'm surprised you haven't gone.
60 cards, a Diet Coke, and a dream.
I think the timing has been a little off the last couple of times, and then this time I think it's literally the same weekend as the Louisville, Kentucky event that we're going to go to at Through the Decade, the weekend of March 21st. And that's a lot closer than DFW area in Texas. So I would much rather carpool and drive with our team to somewhere a little closer, unfortunately. But there's Wawa.
Yeah, I was going to say there's
it's got Wawa.
100% more Wawa.
Texas might have Wawa. I don't know.
No, they don't.
I don't know if we've. Oh.
They have Buc-ee's. Far inferior.
Oh,
Let's
go. I don't.
We're going to start a war on this podcast between Wawa people and Buc-ee's.
Don't go to Buc-ee's. Go to Wawa. They're there in Florida. You know who I'm talking to you. You know who you are. Turn around, leave the Buc-ee's, go to a Wawa.
Does Wawa have beaver nuggets?
They don't need them.
Probably have someone to that. I don't know, but you don't need the freaking beaver nuggets. You just need a hoagie and like that's a pretzel. That's it.
Everybody needs a hoagie. That's
Yeah.
probably the name of the episode already. But let's move on from that a little bit. We're actually kind of just went into Underworld news there off of the banter there. The other big news for the weekend is you might notice that our esteemed host here, Vince, is not on the show today because he is currently down in Australia, dressing Australian and trying to fit in to play in DLC Melbourne happening this weekend.
Mate.
Super exciting. It's ROV in Melbourne, mate. It's gonna be incredible. I'm so excited that we have somebody down there, let alone it being Vince himself playing in the tournament. No longer being a lore guy this time around. He's actually playing in the tournament. Want to wish him the best of luck. He was practicing this past Monday night at our pre-release of our winter spell. He's like, you know what? I don't need those packs. I need practice. The night before he's traveling out on his like 23-hour flight or however long it takes to get from St. Louis to he's there grinding on Monday night on the table, the playing paper. And it's like, man, I would be stress packing. I would be worried about forgetting something. And here you are playing the game, trying to quest your way to the top tables, man. And I'm so excited for him.
I'm very excited. I can't wait
to
see. I think Blurple, right?
No, he's playing Ruby Amber. He's playing Ruby Amber. That's what he was testing. If you see Vince there,
he wasn't
don't tell him that we told you he's on Ruby Amber.
Yeah. But absolutely incredible. Can't wait to see pictures. Can't wait to see. He's already doing content, traveling content, which has been a lot of fun. Apparently, some of his content has been ruined by announcements at the airport, so that's always fun.
Just eat it.
Yeah, maybe
just eat it. Why not?
Maybe you can give some advice to other competitors going to the DLC in Melbourne. Like, always use the dunny in between rounds, so you don't have to go in between your match. Keep your boomerangs in your car. No poisonous snakes or spiders allowed in the convention center. Crocodiles strictly forbidden unless they are emotional support crocodiles, in which case you need to have appropriate paperwork for them.
A little freshy.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your boomerangs in your car is a good episode title too. I'm taking notes. But no,
just remember not to do anything that the queen wouldn't do. All right.
We watch Bluey. It's fine.
But I had something else. I lost it here in just the last few seconds. Basically, with the boomerang, with the boomerang comment. But that's it for Underworld news. I wanted to ask you guys a question here. Yeah, it probably will. It's been an evening.
Something about the boomerang. I said it.
Oh my god! Throw in a rim shot there when you're editing this. But yeah, that's it for Underworld news. I got a question for you guys from Constituents Corner here. The only question of the week: what deck is winning? We can't ask, by the way. What deck is winning DLC Melbourne?
I don't know because Buster hasn't made his prediction yet.
Buster,
but I want
his own prediction.
I want to know your vision. Yeah.
Buster's prediction is whatever Buster predicts.
Oh no, you gotta have a thought. You don't think there's a deck out there that catches your eye? Like,
as lame as it sounds, I think Blurple. Only lame because
how dare you
it's not like it's different, but it's not it's very
no longer
tried and true.
Like the rogue deck.
Yeah, it's not a rogue deck. It's one of the best decks. I think Purple Steel really didn't get anything like super substantial. Like Purple, I got some good cards, I guess, but like the foundation of Purple Steel is locked, I think, at this point for the most part. And Blurple got a couple of other good options. Obviously, Let It Go being back is huge. But yeah, I think that it's probably going to be Blurple, maybe Amber Sapphire, but like I feel like that's just more so going to like catch people off guard, and it's going to be one of those decks that a lot of people play because they, heard all the hype about it, and we're only like a week in. So I think that that's going to be a solid choice for a lot of people, but I think that Blurple is just, tried and true at this point.
Sure. How about you, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, smart money says Blurple, right? I kind of tend to agree with that. I do think, another interesting aspect of not necessarily which deck combination will win, but part of what I thought about when you said that is like, what is the player base going to look like? And while I think Melbourne and Australia in general are probably going to show out a little stronger than they did at their first DLC last season, I do think that we will most likely see this DLC dominated by players from more established Lorcana regions like North America and EU. Obviously DKP winning last season in Melbourne, but we've seen like world-class cards players, rare hunters players going to every single event all across the globe, Hong Kong, Singapore. I fully expect them to show out in Melbourne. And it's a smaller player pool, right? I don't even know if tickets are out yet or at all. I think last time it was like 400 players, 500 players ish. I don't know what the max cap is, but I think we're probably going to see someone from another region win. And because of that, I think it's most likely going to be something like Blurple, because I think that'll be a really strong deck for a lot of these players. I think something like Amber Sapphire probably takes a little longer to develop in the metagame, and I don't think the top players are going to be playing something very aggressive. And while I think something aggressive like Dogs or Ruby Amber or even something like a Burn deck, if one of those still exists, I think they're going to get outskilled perhaps by someone like a DKP on something like a more control deck like Blurple.
Yeah, and that's why I went to you first. You said it so much more eloquently than I would. I'm in agreement with both of you. I think Blurple is the safe bet. I think it is the deck that, to my knowledge, has not changed a whole lot, and it has been very, very strong the last couple sets, and just getting stronger with the draw power, the ramp, everything you need, and then just the high-end removal and control that Blurple has in a skilled player's hands can take down most tournaments. So I'm 100% in agreement with both of what you said. I think it's really early, so there could be a surprise deck out there we don't know about, but Amber Sapphire was the other alternative. I was like, that's the one everybody's talking about, and it seems really, really fun to play. But and who knows what those current decks that we know of already, how they run into it with what little practice that we've had with, I guess, 2 weeks. The set's been out for a week, but people have been play testing and everything for a while and theory crafting for a long time. So I'm with you, and that means that all three of us can root for Vince and bring him home a deal winner because he's playing. I think he's playing Blurple. I don't want to say it, if you listen to this on Friday and ruin, the surprise at the able, but
Ruby
yeah,
Amber.
That's awesome. We can all
alter for Ruby Amber.
Ruby
Trust
Amber.
me.
That's right.
Trust me. Vince won't stand a chance. Mulan Rubin.
But that's, man, we're gonna talk about that later. That there's some fun things there that I've been enjoying. But that's it for Constituents Corner. If you would like to answered here on the podcast, please feel free to comment below. Join us on our Discord and comment in the Constituents Corner channel where discussions happen even before they make it here, or find us on the socials at Rules of Villainy. But yeah, Ruby Amber, let's spend the whole episode talking about that. No, I'm kidding, but maybe some part of it. This past weekend, guys, we had pre-release for Winterspell, and it was incredible. It was so much fun. I only got to play in one of them, but I got to host another, a great one you guys showed out. We had a great showing for, and all the feedback that I've gotten from just the limited perspective as a whole, this set, like just on Twitter and everywhere, people are loving it. And it's been like, my experience on Thursday night was a lot of fun. How about you guys? You played in multiple, I think 3 or 4 different ones over the weekend, right?
Yeah, we did 3 sealed events and 1 pack rush event. It was definitely a ton of fun. Did get a little unlucky on Thursday with my packs. Did not have a good first. Like, my only win was a bye. But then I turned around Saturday and did another sealed event, got killer packs, and I went 3-0. So it's
Heck yeah.
definitely doable as long as you get like real 4-drops.
Yeah, the 4-drops that we reviewed here on Rules of Villainy with BR guest Heath over there on his channel. I felt bad for you Thursday night when I saw your 4-drop pool. You had
It was
what, 4
awful.
maybe?
I had
And
4
2 of them were
technically.
inkable. Like
I had 4
Yeah.
technically, like total throughout 6 packs, only 4 singular 4-drops. That includes inkable and
Wow.
non-inkable. But the 4th one, I didn't play it. I maybe should have, but I really didn't want to. Was that darn Willie the Giant, which is dumb. It's not a real 4-drop.
I play
It's
Willie.
like a 7-drop. Good for you, mate.
It's not a
But,
7
like,
There's a
drop.
lot of ways.
You would never need to boost it the first turn you play it. You boost it.
Well,
Yeah.
no.
So you boost it the next turn. So you play it on 4, and then any time you 7/7 to do anything, you could pay 3. And if you don't, like eventually you're gonna run out of ink, run out of cards in hand, and you're gonna have leftover ink, and you're gonna have to be able to use your Willie the Giant to quest, and they're never getting rid of it. It's I think it's better than we gave it credit for when we ranked it with Heath.
Well, fine. I didn't
Could have
have
played Willie the
faith,
Giant. It's
There's-
so
inkable
I
too.
just didn't even bother. Yeah, I know it's
There's-
inkable, but like it's whatever.
There's a lot of utility too to actually boost him without paying the 3 that I found out on Thursday. I didn't have Willie in my pool, unfortunately, but the Lonely Grave.
Yeah.
Andy's gonna give me trouble for playing. The Lonely Grave item is banish a chosen character of yours and boost a card for free, which would activate the. I know, but I've seen this in action and constructed already, and it's like there might be something there.
No, it's
But
not good at
the
constructed
alternative
either.
was one I pulled.
It's not good at constructed
Well,
either.
Well, maybe not, but the one like probably sadly the best card that I probably pulled that night at Bodax was the epic mini mouse on 5. So you play this after Willie on 4. She comes out and you automatically boost a character
And you draw a
for free.
card.
And she's a 3/4.
And you get to draw a card.
So 3/4.
Nice.
And you know what I did? I didn't draw the card because I didn't read the
my
card when I
goodness,
played this that night. Night.
I
But she's a
mean-
3/4 with ward at quest for 2
Not a
and
May.
boost something on your board. Like
I don't think it's a May. If you do
Yeah,
draw
so-
a card, so you should have drawn your card. Someone call a lore guide on Brad. If you're playing Brad,
my
you know,
God.
lore guide. I'm just kidding, but
I screwed
that
up.
card
That's
is
probably true.
that card
'cause,
is not
like,
good. Like in most circumstances. In fact, I had a conversation with Heath about it because I had very, very poor 5-drops in one of the sealeds that I did, and I ended up having to play 2 of those Minnie Mouses, the Mrs. Cratchit, and surprisingly, I mean, obviously it was ink anytime I didn't need it, but surprisingly, I was able to use it on both an Alice that I had, the 4-drop Alice, which is a really good card, as well as my 2-drop Scrooge, which is another really good card. So
That card was amazing.
yeah, there are cards that have boosts that are really good. They are less good when you think you actually have to pay the boost cost, but when you have a limited pool of 5-drops that you can necessarily play, like I had no slushies or anything like that. That Mrs. Cratchit worked out fine, and the 3/4 body wasn't great, but I could sing Let It Go. I've done that with it as well. It has some mild utility despite being understated at a 3/4. Ward meant nothing, but
Yeah.
it's not a bad card. I don't know about that one cost banish to boost. That's a little sus.
I played it.
Oh
I actually got to use it. Like I had this great experience. We had 2 new players at Bodax, and they were fantastic to talk to all night. You could tell they were competitive players. They play a lot of board games. As Hannah, and shout out to them. I actually, in my first round with Hannah, got to play out the Scrooge's Counting House, which is a 2-cost inkable location, 1/4 that every time you boost it, it gets another willpower and another lore pip on it. So I got to do the grave thing and the Minnie Mouse thing and like just beef that thing up, and it was difficult to deal with. The only reason I won game 3 was because that thing was beefed up so heavily throughout the game before she could finally deal with it. And then I dropped the Vine location was a 2 lore, and she just didn't have enough power on board to take out both locations at the same time to win that game there. But it was one of those moments where I was like, this is why I love pre-release, why I love sealed and this kind of stuff, because I get to do these goofy things that, like, we don't get to do week to week when we're, trying to build the destructive deck that we possibly can. And like Scrooge's Counting House was an MVP for me, at least in that game. I didn't get to use it any rest of the night.
You gotta
wanted to shout that
less
out.
locations, Brad. You gotta look at Heath's tier list.
I played two. Yeah.
Locations aren't ideal. Although in the pack rush event we did, I had the game preserve and the one cost Miko evasive. So I would just play the game preserve, put Miko there and not turn it sideways. That was pretty useful.
I heard
and I tried to make it sealed.
Game preserve.
Yeah, game preserve.
Yeah, I heard that game preserve gave Jimmy a lot of problems on Monday night when they put the female fox. Was it Vixie?
Vixie
was there. Yeah, and he couldn't deal with it. It was just a total pain. But
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I got really lucky. I had a Sven. I played against someone at the game night sealed, and they played Vixie in the game preserve, and I Sven the Vixie, and then with a Grush, and then used the rest of my characters to take out the game preserve. I was like, yeah, that any other scenario, I would have been bleeding 4 lore every turn. It would have been taking it.
Yeah,
but lots of good cards for sure. A lot of fun interactions. I don't feel like I felt it much different. Like they said this was going to be the set for limited. Like there was going to be big limited implications in this set, and it was a great set for sealed. I had a ton of fun, but I don't know like what percentage more fun I had than other sets, really, right?
Before.
There was a couple sets with like really high uninkable cards in the set that I felt were less fun for sealed because of that. But like, I don't know, nothing to me felt like this set was anything super spectacular. Just a really good fun set like any other.
I think the biggest difference, at least that I saw, is the underdog ability. That like skyrockets your ability to win on the drop, which I mean, for limited events, I really like being on the draw anyway, because you have that card advantage of going second. So I was choosing to go second most of the time anyway. But especially if I had on Monday, I think I had 2 1-drop characters, and that was it out of 6 packs. But I didn't even really care because I had a decent amount of underdogs. So like all I had to do was find one of those 2 drops, and I was fine. Or I didn't even need to play on something on turn 1. But I think that the underdogs really like gives you that advantage, like being able to play the 1/3 Christopher Robin, the quest for 2 on turn 1 is really nice. So
yeah,
I liked that addition, and I think I feel like that was the only like real noticeable change for me.
Well, there's only 6 of them, and they're all uncommons. So
Yeah.
I didn't feel like any of them ever had like that big of an impact on any of the games that I played in for me or against me. I don't know that I ever actually got to use underdog going second.
Oh, I got to use
mainly
it
because
a couple times actually.
I think most of the underdog cards aren't great in limited. I liked the evasive one, but never found it. Was it
White Rabbit?
The rabbit. That's the only one I had. Yeah.
There was
Christopher
that
Robin
one
was
and the
mid.
Liquidator.
Liquidator would have been nice, but I never found one. And I like Liquidator because it's like Negaduck or Darkwing Duck for 1 word. 4 strength on 2 is pretty nice, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as usual, 1-drops aren't great. I did find the 1-drop item infra pink laser glasses or something. I don't know. That one was not bad because you could banish it and give a character alert. Play it and it draws and discards a card, and then you can banish it and give a character alert. That one came in handy and at the very least, like filtered itself. But yeah, don't play 1-drops in sealed or limited. They're bad. And then just get good other cards, big cards.
Get good. Stop right there. Yeah.
Get good.
Don't play 1-drops and get good.
Big cards.
Yeah.
I had double space cows in one sealed. That was really double space cows and the is it Louis? Not Chef Louis. It's who's the 7-cost 7/7 quest for 3?
Shenpo.
Shenpo, yeah, Shenpo.
Shenpo.
Double space cows and Shenpo. Double
Sheesh.
double 6/7 Mickey. Then like obviously Lumpy, I think is the GOAT in sealed.
Did you have 2 or 3 of those on Thursday night?
Triple Lumpy on Thursday night.
You had 3 Lumpies.
I went
2 foils and a
with
regular.
Triple Lumpy. Who would have thought Triple Lumpy is real good? And then I was talking with some of my other sealed friends, and I think it was Quest for Cole who played in a sealed event, and he was like doing really good. Went 2-1. My only loss was to a guy who had 3 Lumpies, and I responded, I went 3-0 my sealed. Turns out 3 Lumpies is pretty darn good. So
He's so good.
Lumpies is great. And then for the rest of the weekend, we all we felt one way or another going into an event based on how many Lumpies we had. The only exception being Monday when I had 0 Lumpies, but I still managed a 2-1 with double space cows, double 6/7s, and the Shenpo. Big dudes. There was one game I inked and passed until turn 3. Turn 1 and 2 inked and passed. Did absolutely nothing. And then turn 3 I just played a character and eventually got to 7 ink and played double space cows and like GG.
Moo.
Yeah. What do you do? 6/8. I'm still bummed that this doesn't have an epic card. I know it, like, to me it is like, it just has epic written all over it because they're space cows. Like it would have been so great. And maybe they will do like an alternate or something in the future. It's when they revealed this card, I'm like, what are we doing here? I love this so much.
I love it. And Enchanted Chatter's right. Courtney's right. Someone needs cosplay as
a space cow.
As a space cow.
Space cow. Do
Let's
it.
go.
If you're listening,
I'm all in.
You better start making your space cow cosplay because I want to see you at the DLC.
Let's do it. Let's do a Rules of Villainy space cow cosplay.
I'm gonna be Royal Guard cow.
TM. There you go. Yeah.
Have you turned into a cow?
Yes, I've been turned
Can
into
I
a
go
cow.
home now?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. But yeah,
Sealed was fun.
That's awesome. Pre-release was a lot of fun. Sealed was fun. Do you have any other thoughts on the pre-release before we move into any kind of?
I'm excited next set for the like pre-release kits and to see what that looks like.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Those are gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's basically where to my understanding, like a pre-release pack is just like instead of buying product out of like a booster box, you're buying this pack of, and this is what you're going to play with, right?
The only thing that it concerns me about that is product. Like
how many they'll have,
yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So
because like some stores don't do a lot of product. They have really big sealed events.
Yeah.
So how are they going to accurately distribute the kits?
It'll depend on a couple things. So I believe we haven't heard otherwise. The pre-release kits are going to release with the rest of the product. At the same time, at the LGS, unlike a game like Riftbound, where 2 weeks ago they had their pre-release event. Yeah, a week before the set even releases, they ship a bunch of pre-release kits to the stores. They have a pre-release event. You can't buy any booster boxes. You can't buy any booster packs. There's no starter deck for sale. Just those pre-release kits. You do your event, and then next week you come back and you buy the product. That is where what Kirsten's talking about becomes an actual problem. And we saw at one of our LGS that did Riftbound, they're a big store. They got 16 pre-release kits. Meanwhile, other stores had like 100, and they did 100-person pre-release, events. And so the store is limited to how many people they can have at their pre-release event by that. I think the way this will work is it'll most likely for most stores will be first come, first serve. We'll get a pre-release kit with their entry, and the others will get 6 packs. Plain and simple.
Yeah,
They
and
have
Gotcha.
16 pre-release kits. There's 24 people. 16 people will get pre-release kits. The others will get 6 packs out of a booster box like you normally would. And the only thing
Right.
you're missing out on is that poster card, some
promo
dice, the lore counter.
poster card. Yeah,
And
yeah.
True.
at least in St. Louis, I think people are going to be very friendly with that. I'm gonna push my way to the front of the line and knock old people over to get one on the first event.
Well, don't do that.
But
Don't do that.
But
Mr. Fredrickson
the
will
second,
hit you with
the
his cane.
third, the fourth, if I've gotten one of those, I'm going to be more than happy to say I'll just take 6 packs. We can let the next person,
Yeah.
make sure everyone gets one.
Yeah,
Right.
that's interesting to me. I didn't think about it that way before. I didn't know
Mhm.
that they did separate weekends with other games. Where I would like to believe, and I hope that this is the case, that they produce these thoroughly and to give all the stores enough to have a tournament like we did at game night. But at game night this past Monday, we had 24 people signed up going into it because that's usually our cap based on the product. But when we have 24 people come do sealed at the store that I host, that takes away so much product from the store for the rest of the weeks, right? Like, so then for several weeks, if not the entire set, we just don't have product there anymore because we dumped all of it on the opening night, which is great because we love getting a big crowd there as well. But if this helps, these pre-release packs, what I hope this helps keep product in stores as well, for people to come in and just off the street and be like, hey, what's this, and be able to buy packs, because if it's not there, people aren't going to learn about it unless they're there at the right time to do it. So if my hope is that there's going to be pre-release packs galore the stores, but
I would
who
get your
knows
hopes up.
with production and
These pre-release packs are
I'm just
really
an optimist.
unless they discontinue the troves and make the pre-release packs.
Oh God, no! Please don't.
Don't do that.
I agree. Don't do that. But the pre-release pack is essentially the same product line and product type as a trove, other than its functionality in a sealed event.
Sure.
These pre-release packs with 6 packs, you can't use them for a draft, can't use them for a sealed, or you can only use them for sealed. They're not a trove because you guys all want your troves still. That's fine. So Ravensburger really doesn't want to overproduce a ton of these because they don't want stores, and stores probably don't want to be leftovers with these. And as far as like stores getting enough, I think Ravensburger is probably still dialing in how much of a set or a product they want to produce any given set, because obviously, I mean, you don't need an MBA to realize that like you only want to produce as much product as going to be demand, right? That if you hit that number perfectly, you make the most amount of money. I think some of the problems you're talking about, Brad, are distributors and store problems, right? A store doesn't buy enough from their distributor because they don't think they have the community for it, or a distributor doesn't give enough to a store because the distributor doesn't think they have the community for it, or because the distributor has some other there's a whole bunch of mechanics and things that go on behind the scenes that we probably don't understand there. I don't know that Ravensburger can fix the problem of not just game night, but even Bodox is a bigger store that got a lot of product, but we have a lot of very dedicated players who bought a lot of that product right when they, got it all. So sometimes they get extra, shipments of product in from their distributor. Sometimes they don't. We're out of Winterspell or Whispers in the Well for a couple weeks there near the end. So I don't think that's a Ravensburger thing, other than that sort of fine tuning of dialing in how much product they make for a particular set. You got to tell your local game store. For game night, like I don't know what's going on over there, we can see every single Monday night that there is a crowd of people there for Lorcana. They should just take some pictures and send it to a distributor and be like, "Give me more packies."
One of the Magic players who's there every week, I think his name is Andrew, and he played with me a little bit to try to understand the game or whatever. And when I'm waiting for people to show up some weeks, and really cool guy, he walks up to me when we had like I don't know, 15 people waiting for Seal to drop or to start on Monday night. And he's like, "Did you do this?" And I go, "Did I do what?" He's like, "Did you build this crowd like over the weeks?" And I'm like, "Well, we have consistent players here every week, but this is a pre-release weekend. And I know it's weird that it's a Monday night, but I decided to have it the night as we have our leagues and, introduce people to the night that we always have open play kind of happening." But the initial shock that he saw so many people there excited to play the game, not realizing it was a big event, not just a weekly or whatever, I was like, yeah, it is pretty cool. Like I remember starting this back in set 3 or 4, and having to build this and together. It's not just me, but it's all of us as a community, and the podcast, and promote and everything too. It was a really good feeling on Monday night to see everybody there, and then people on the outside being like, "Whoa, Disney Lorcana got it going on, man." But
yeah, I mean, we've had some pretty
I
nights there, even for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, especially if it's like someone's birthday or something, or right before a DLC and we're all practicing or whatever. Like, we can get a pretty darn good crowd there.
Yeah.
It warms my heart every
single definitely
time.
A shame though that like allocation of product does not equal size of like player base
events and things
at some of these stores.
Yeah.
So I definitely would love to see that get evened out a little more, but again, I don't know that there's much Ravensburger does or can do about that. Maybe some rules enforcement on distributors or whatever, but that's things that is out of my wheelhouse, really.
Yeah.
So
you got any final thoughts on the pre-release or anything before we move on?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah.
We'll
Go
talk
ahead,
about
Andy.
it again
cut you off.
No, I was gonna say we'll talk about it again in 3 months when the next set comes out. Wilds
True.
Unknown.
It's gonna be insane. I think I just heard Vince cheer from Australia.
Yeah, he screamed.
Yeah, when he saw. Yeah, every time it's mentioned. I think I wasn't even at Gen Con, but I hear that story and I just imagine
It was so
Vince,
exciting.
the loudest in the room. Yes!
I wasn't even at Gen Con, but I could hear Vince scream all the way back in Lewis. I thought that's what you were gonna say.
Well, no, in my head I hear it, and I think I have a memory because the live stream was, or the event at Gen Con for Disney Lorcana was live streamed.
Yeah.
And I remember you guys were positioned right in front of the camera, which was really cool seeing you guys all there in your jerseys. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I'm making it up or that I actually heard Vince on that live stream when that happened. Just a live mic picking him up.
I believe it.
I'm probably making that up.
No, I
but
believe
it.
We were right there. We were at front center for the crowd cam.
That was such an exciting time.
I'm so excited for you guys. I was jealous. I just couldn't make it work with everything happening. But hopefully this year we'll go. Emily's dying to go back to Indianapolis.
Wawa.
Wedding's done in April, and we'll have Wawa. Yeah, I'll finally get to experience one. Maybe I'll jump on that one with you.
Do it.
But let's talk about let's theorycraft and talk about let's not talk about Wawa. I'm gonna get hungry here. But constructed. What decks are you looking at? What's exciting you so far? I know you had deck test Tuesday last night or a few nights ago when this airs. Any thoughts so far on what you're seeing with the set? I know it's super early.
Really
like I said, it's week 1. Blurple's still really good. Heard you were experimenting with this that you kind of jumped off pretty quickly. You want to talk about that? What was that?
Yeah, Frank Karsten put out a Fox and the Hound-esque themed deck that looked really fun. It had Willow Tweed and Todd and Fixie, and it was
Dogs 2.0.
Are foxes dogs?
Nah, they're not in the canine family. They're in the canine family, right?
But
yeah. All right.
It
Yeah, dogs 2.0. Let's go.
It got a suggestion from our competitive team to just try it out. So I put it together.
They were
I
trolling
played
you.
one game, and then I was like, this is not real. We're not going to play more. But I did get to play my Enchanted Todd.
Oh, that's
Cute.
beautiful.
I
I heard
the
Heather's looking for one of
silver
those, but I bet
foiling.
you're not.
Yeah, we're
Heck
trading this
no.
one to Heather. I
Heck
already
no.
messaged her. No, I'm just kidding.
Kirsten just gave you the look. But no, I want to comment on Frank Carson. Like, the idea is probably there because, you know, a deck builder like Frank Carson,
Sure,
two-time DLC winner, building those decks. Like, the idea is clearly there. There's probably some really awesome thoughts there. He carried. Like, I won't say he carried me, but like the Azurite Sea, Arcasia's Island. He did. I think every set now he drew like 6 to 8 deck lists at the beginning of the set that are just have an idea and coming from the mind of Frank Carson, and his Jafar deck at the beginning of Arcasia's Island was a lot of fun. Amethyst, believe it or not, Andy, I was playing Amethyst Steel.
Yes,
but
I
it was a way to implement the new like legendary Mickey and stuff to get him out there and cheat out big characters a lot quicker with the boosts, or not boost, but the challenger boosts and all stuff from the crab and whatever. And that deck actually worked out. Like that was a lot of fun throughout most of that set. I'd play that off and on, and I just admire like the fact that he can put together this many decks at the start of a tournament or at the start of a set and tell people, hey, check this out, see what you like about it, see what you don't like about it, switch it up. And you can't go wrong when it's Karsten making the deck, right?
I'm
I
sure
guess you
that
can, because
like
you didn't like it. Yeah.
Well, look. Okay, I'm sure that it's like 90% a piloting issue. Me not knowing what the heck I'm doing.
Don't cut yourself
like,
short. Don't do that.
I literally was like, I don't know what the heck this is supposed to do. I need a Metafy guide to go along with it. But
there's
no,
probably
I mean,
an
it looks
article
fun in
on
theory.
Lorcana. You could have just
Okay,
looked
well,
it
I
up.
didn't read the article, mate. Okay, get off my
I'm here
back.
to play, not read.
I just looked for a deck, and I made and it looked fun. Play my Enchanted Todd. So leave me alone.
I
But I immediately was like, I am not good at this. Let's move on, because this is not going to get any better, I don't think. And you were playing Blurple, which you were extremely comfortable on, had minor changes, and there was no way I was going to pull out a win on that deck. So, like, let's get on to the real stuff, okay?
Yeah, I admire Brad for playing weak -1 Frank Karsten decks all the way through to the set champs, because that's a little wild.
I wasn't all the way to set champs.
He needs to
That
update
wasn't all
those
the way to set
Metafis.
Oh my God.
Those Metafy guides. He needs to put out a post, closer to set champs article from Frank Karsten where he like modifies those decks, or admits he was wrong about a few of them. So, but
I found the Frank Karsten article.
I do think that Frank Karsten, I love that he makes the fun decks, Eerie Crafts, before anything comes out. I don't think that he is making that article more for entertainment. He is certainly a skilled deck builder and Lorcana player, but that article is purely for entertainment and to try and get people to have fun with new cards. It is to showcase new cards and things. The article is not, weak -1 decks that I think will win Worlds this year. It is, decks that are fun ways to try the new detectives, the new pirates theme, the new madrigals or whatever. So they are fun and they aren't unplayable, but they aren't necessarily like good in the current meta. I don't think Frank Karsten cares about Blurple and how dominant it will be when he's building the Fox and the Hound deck, right? He's just trying in general, I can do sort of, and they also tend to focus on these, like, if you do these really powerful things, it almost doesn't matter what you're playing against or what your opponent's playing, because you've just hit this sort of, god tier line that is the top tier power of these cards, as opposed to like a more consistent line where you have to, go against genies and Elsas and whatnot.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed it on the head, and that's what I want. I've said it on here in the past too. It's very much these articles and these decks are ways to showcase the new cards, the
Mhm.
new exciting cards, the new properties, all these things. I had a lot of fun doing it. I'm sorry that your experience was different with the Todd or whatever, but reading the article, it sounds really fun, and it's something that I should have remembered this time, and I haven't constructed yet since we're literally in week 1 right now. My first night of constructed will be tomorrow night or last night if you're listening to this on time. And I have no idea what I'm even playing. Like so maybe I
build a deck.
He played
Yeah.
this deck,
Yeah, man.
and he went
Maybe
this record.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
And he's gonna
Oh
insert
no, no. Now it's all set up. Wow. Okay. So
That's fine.
Okay,
I'm
the,
just
like,
gonna
think
read
really hard.
Carson's. I'm just gonna actually read his article, and I'm gonna bring my Todd deck and 3-0 all of you.
If Brad
Do
does
it.
bad,
Do it. I
I'm
hope you
gonna-
do.
I'm gonna
I'm
play
not
the
doing it.
really sad like violin music where it's like, it's sometimes you just don't, and you just don't want to, and it's like the lady all upset. Yeah,
I'm
we're gonna
looking
play that nice.
I'm looking at his Amber Steel right now, which is it's showcasing the new bundled up Lilo, which I think is probably just for art alone and cuteness level, that Lilo all bundled up might be my favorite card of the set, just because it's
really
so
cute.
cute. I'm not even a big Lilo and Stitch fan, but it's so cute.
It is cute.
And I'm looking at this now. What's funny is I mentioned this on the Discord today, even that I sorted all my cards finally last night after I got Tuesday. I worked and then I had nothing else to do. I'm like, all right, now is time. I've opened 3 boxes. I can sort out what I got and everything. Out of all the cards that I got, I'm missing 4 or 5 legendaries, which makes sense. But I don't even have a playset of Pudge. Pudge is an uncommon 2-cost 1/3, and I only got 2 of them out of probably 96 packs, something close to like that. 3 boxes, a couple troves, and some miscellaneous packs. How do I only have 2
I don't know.
Pudges? That card is elusive to me.
You know what?
I told you can have some. I probably have
Pudge.
20.
I know.
Pudge also, Pudge also controls the
Controls
weather.
the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I figured you were gonna. I haven't heard that enough this week, honestly.
Pudge controls the weather.
Every time somebody plays Pudge, I'm gonna be like, Pudge controls the weather.
And I feel like that is in the spirit of the game.
It is.
Yeah, Andy, are you sticking around Blurple? What are you thinking about constructed wise here in this new new set?
New meta.
Blurple's really strong. I think I still really like it. I felt really comfortable sort of for the first time since maybe Ruby Amethyst back in the day, back in my day. And so like last set Blurple at the end of the set, like anytime like I was telling Kirsten I probably should have just played Blurple at every set champs that we did, because we had those extended set champs because of the weather issue we had. Pudge controlled the weather to snow, gave Winterspell, and we got
Winterspell came early.
Yeah, we had a couple delayed set champs, and I ended up just sort of, we got the mat. I got a first place, or I was like, I'll do the typical thing and have some fun. And I probably should have just played Blurple in all of them, and I think I would have done even better than I did. I mean, I played in 4, got 4 cards, got 1st, 2nd, 5th, and 8th. So like pretty good showing in my opinion. I'm very happy with it. But I mean, Blurple felt like autopilot, just, grinding games. And I've seen builds this set that basically are identical. With the addition of Let It Go is really like the one card that most all of them are adding in, which frankly for me is great. More removal, more better. I'm already drawing plenty of cards. Its biggest weakness is a wide board. If I just have more and more, the card management of like, okay, well, I know they have these 8 cards, so I need to save my Hades and my Into the Unknowns for like these particularly tricky cards. Let It Go just adds an extra, element to that, and it gives me another tool. But frankly, I'm like really tempted by all of the new, like Kirsten said, Blurple got a lot of new fun toys. Pete, great. Sven, great. Scrooge, love to make that work. Probably can't. Genie is another one. 3-cost Genie. Again, would love to make that work. Colors of the Wind. I really love the idea of singing to draw my cards rather than having to pay 3 ink. You get a lot of ink, but in these control matchups, those turns, the free turns that you get when you aren't pressed to like remove, important characters from them or something, you get this breathing room. You say, okay, this is the turn I'm going to draw as many cards as I can and prep for the next like 3 or 4 turn battle where I have to like clear the board and stuff. Having to pay 3 for that really stinks. I would much rather just like, that's why Dumbo's so great. You can use those Elsas that were, once attackers to now be lore gainers, card drawer type cards. So I would love Colors of the Wind to work, but the more monocolor the meta is, Amethyst being very, very popular, Sapphire being very, very popular, right? If I'm playing Amethyst Steel and Sapphire Amber or Sapphire Emerald, it's kind of just like, well, I'm drawing sometimes 1 card, which is really sad. And most of the time you're just drawing 2. Others, Isis, Marshmallow, I'd love to try in there. Even Moana, the Bell for some like additional hyper ramp. I know some people have like Tigger, not as big a fan of Tigger. The point is there's a lot of these cards that I would love to try, but I think in reality, the most consistent of the deck is probably going to be some scaled back amount of them. I don't think it's, is it JDRR had a list that is just the exact same Blurple with 4 Let It Goes. That's the only new card in there. I think that might be a little too old school. I think there's some room for maybe Sven or Pete or something in there, but I don't know that all those cards I mentioned are gonna be able to be afforded in Blurple. But yeah, I hope that my comfort level sticks around for Blurple in this set. But there are other decks that are fun. Kirsten played a couple aggro decks. You played the Amber Steel aggro, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty fun. I like the. I am not even going to attempt to pronounce the name of that song. But
Akud Etamuti.
yeah, that one.
You like that?
That. I
That
thought that
seemed
was
like your
pretty
least
fun.
favorite
Like,
card.
it's my least favorite card when I ended up getting like more than 2, or I don't know. Like, I was just having really bad top decks, and you were having really wild top decks. But like, sometimes having that and like being able to play like a dock for free or something is really nice. And then you just
talk about
2.
wild top decks. You top deck in a Cood and you play it and then draw off of it, and it's a dock and you play that for free. Oh wow, I'm the one with wild top decks, right? Yeah, okay. It seemed like you were playing that card a lot, and that you were just using it for the card draw, and then you'd get to play something after it. But again, because the decks you were playing against, both of mine were Sapphire decks, you didn't need the ink reduction on that. Although
For the most part, no.
You did.
It was just nice to have.
You did have the Stitch line, at least, or the Angel line at least once that we played, where you got to play Angel and then sing that the very next turn, and it's basically like double 2 drops that turn. And surprisingly, that deck wasn't even running Grandmother Willow, which is an interesting one. But that, for the most part, seemed like very typical Amber Steel aggro. It did not run Diana, but it did run, and it didn't run Nala, but it ran the bundled up Lilo, basically.
Bundled up Lilo, yeah.
I think she's really good.
She is pretty darn good. I definitely had some like decisions to make about how to remove that. especially with the
I had the
zombie
ship
Lilo.
Lilo too. Rockstar
Oh,
Lilo.
Rockstar
She was super
Lilo.
fun.
That's
Quest
super
to
fun
play
to
a
play with my
2-drop for
Chanty.
free. I did play with the Chanty and it was glorious.
Um,
It's just so pretty. But no, that was fun. That was
That's probably my
interesting.
favorite
I liked
enchanted.
that deck. And then I think that the boost bounce deck, the Amethyst Emerald deck, could have some legs. I think that I need to figure out how to play it better and like maybe it needs some more fine tuning. That's what me and Enchanted Chatter were talking about earlier on her channel. We were talking about that deck because apparently we were both playing that recently. So I think that there's some really cool options for like that to be more of a boost burn type deck where you have got Genie in play and you boost him a bunch of times using certain cards like the Emily Quackfaster and
Mhm.
I can't remember the other one that Enchanted Chatter mentioned
Donald.
that Courtney mentioned.
The
Not that
legendary
one.
Donald is.
The legendary
It was
Donald's
one
pretty
that I
good. There's
didn't
also
have in my
oh,
deck. There was one that
Mulan
wasn't in my
or
deck
Minnie
that
Mouse. Sorry, Minnie Mouse.
no. Minnie Mouse, that was the one. I think the one
Mrs.
that
Cratchit.
boosts a
Mrs.
character or
Cratchit.
whatever.
And you draw a card
Mhm.
off of it.
Yep.
Definitely not bad. And
Yeah. So like right. I think that there's something there. Like it seems really fun. It seems like it could be reliable and a good way to draw cards with the boost bounce mechanism. And obviously like your high lore questers with like Flynn Rider and the Genie and a couple of other things. So I think that there's definitely something there and it just needs some more fine tuning. But that one was pretty fun to play. I think playing against Blurple is again just kind of rough, but
for being an Amethyst deck
you're gonna
too, it
run
seemed
into
to have
that anyway.
minimal card draw as well. You drew a ton of cards when you would bounce like a Genie that was like super boosted or any character that was like super
Mhm.
boosted, but you didn't run any like evasive Genies for draw. There was obviously no Dumbo package,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
No book, no Colors of the Wind.
No.
So yeah, I think you ran Strike a Good Match. Maybe not actually.
Yep.
But
No, it had strike a good match and improvise.
but yeah, you didn't have a ton of like card draw that you would expect from an
Was it
Amethyst
improvise?
list.
Maybe I'm
That might have been in
confusing
the
it with
Todd deck, but yeah.
Yeah, it was.
The
Either way.
But I think you're right. I think tweaking it a little bit, maybe to add some more card draw. Library is
Yeah.
making a big cut in a
Yeah.
big way.
Yes, it is.
Amethyst Steel is playing it. Amethyst Anything is potentially playing it because
Mhm.
putting a bunch of characters in the library is pretty darn good.
Especially with
Yeah.
Raging Storm being back now, I think. Like
Yep.
if you're ever running against an Amber deck that has the board wipe in it and you've got the library out, like that secures you quite a few cards ideally.
And that Amber
Yeah, I saw Eddie
Sapphire.
running.
Go ahead.
So I saw Eddie running Amber Amethyst Monday night, and I don't remember if he had locations in it whatsoever, but he was playing Amber, and I was expecting him to drop a Sapphire or something else, and he ended up playing Demona when I walked over to see what was going on against Kristen,
Interesting.
and I was like, oh my god, he's playing Amber Amethyst right now with the new cards, and I'm curious to see what those deck lists look like because,
Yeah.
like you said, like you just nailed it on the head with Raging Storm existing, which I still haven't pulled. That location spam could come out like the old DKP Manor,
Yeah.
Shark
Well,
Manor.
you can't bring
build
back
where it's
Manor.
like,
That's been rotated.
can't bring back Manor, but yeah, the locations coming out and then wiping the board. It's like, okay, now deal with this. We don't have a whole lot of rush characters.
Yeah.
That can deal with an 8 library, or an 8 health library in one hit. So
yeah,
that's
I think it's
certainly a
definitely
strategy.
interesting. And I think the Amber Sapphire deck actually is pretty real too. Like that was really hard to deal with when I was playing against it on Deck Test Tuesday. And I mean, like the ability to go from like 3 to 7 ink or 8 ink very quickly is like so incredible and it's so hard to deal with. And it was really frustrating to play against because I kept feeling like, okay, well, I have to take out the Cindy, but okay, well, what if he plays a Moana? Because that Moana is like chef's kiss, mate. Like, not having to ink a card from your hand, and as long as you have a card in the discard, like, that is wildly, like, broken, I
And it's a
think.
princess, so it works with
And it's a
Cindy.
princess, so it synergizes with Cindy. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. And if you threw Belle in there too, like, what the heck?
I've been seeing that as well. The bell, and then everything with the bell,
I
everything
mean,
that banished goes to your inkwell as well. So when you Raging Storm your opponent, if you have that bell out, all of your characters go to the inkwell instead.
yeah, like,
So the
and there's definitely valid card draw in that deck. So, like, that was it was so hard. I hated it. That's a real darn deck, and like, I kind of hate it.
I feel like
wanna play it.
Ohana means family being not a great card a lot of the time. Like, I don't know. I'll just make up some numbers. Let's say like 40% of the time, it's not great. You don't really have this availability to challenge and then get heal and draw cards. And then let's say another like 50% of the time, you're able to get like 3, right? So you're able to like Hades into a Hades or Hades into something. 3 strength is fairly common on a lot of good cards. So you can get like 3, maybe 2 in there, like 10% times like 2 or whatever. But you know, it's not great a lot. A little bit more than probably that is it gets you like 3 cards. But man, when you've got 7 damage on a Surfer Stitch and you play Ohana Meets Family and you get a whole new 7 cards, whoo boy, that feels good.
A whole new world, Amber style.
Just for you too. Like,
That's
oh my,
You didn't do that to me.
Your
but,
opponent's
like,
just
even
like,
you
oh,
drawing
cool,
those
that's cool,
3
that's cool.
cards was so miserable. Like, and like you
Yeah.
always had so much ink. So you playing the Ohana for like what 3 is it?
Yeah.
3. Yeah.
Like that
Yep.
was nothing to you because you had like at one point in one of the games you had like almost 20 ink.
Yep.
That's ridiculous, mate. Like that's
Third
of your deck. Oh my
ridiculous.
God.
Like who cares if you're only drawing 3? You basically played that for free and you're drawing 3 cards that you're immediately going to be able to play. Like that it was definitely really tough to
So-
keep up with that.
You know, I said it
I
said it last week very quickly, like in between I was going back and forth with Andy. I said it really quickly last week. Andy made an argument for it today on the Discord. Like maybe it's Mufasa's time to shine. Maybe, even if it's just a one of, man. You get the cue cards back from the ink as well, like things that you put away. You get that bell back, you get that Ohana back. What you don't know what it is because it's random, but like that card's never really shined. Everybody had thoughts. They played, spice a little bit. By they, I mean me. But it's perhaps, in a Amber Sapphire meta, Mufasa, an 8 cost on Inkable that hasn't seen play at all, might finally have its time. It's a beautiful card too. Beautiful card, beautiful enchanted.
Absolutely.
Got the play mat back here. You can, might be worth
One
it.
thing we were talking about before was locations with Raging Storm being back. Amber Sapphire, in my opinion, really the only deck that can play the Raging Storm, just because you need a way to be able to dump it when it's
Ramp.
not good. You need the ramp to be able to get to it soon enough. And of all the locations in Amber Sapphire, there are only 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that even have printed lore on them. Most of them, 12 of the 16 do not have printed lore, which means you need to do something with them to get lore.
Or they just don't have lore at all. Like
Or
for
they don't have
Princess
lore at all,
Tower.
right. And then the best one is the Pride Lands, the 3 cost 8 willpower, 1 lore, while you have 3 or more characters here. No, it's inkable. Pride Lands, while you have 3 or more characters here, you may
There's 2 of
banish
them,
this location to play a character from your discard for free, which isn't terrible, but 3 or more characters is a lot. And like you're looking at Montanui, 5 willpower, 1 lore, Zootopia, 5 willpower, 1 lore. These are cards that Sven can take out. These are cards that, the biggest problem I had in testing against the library was that with Amber Sapphire was that it took, my characters had 5 strength and P, 4 for the 2 Stitches, Surfer and Snowboarder, 4 for the Moana, 3 for the Hades. I needed a lot of characters to take out one of these locations. There is no Maui time, to run in. I'm not playing Copper in Ruby. So you don't have that luxury. So it is hard to put these characters on the board and then remove that location. So that, and there is no locations for Amber Sapphire to take advantage of to be able to just slap these down on the board and Raging Storm and win off the locations. So that's interesting. But I don't know, Amber Sapphire, it's a 2-4-6 deck, right? You have to go ramp on 2, ramp on 4 with Cindy, and then you're up to 6. Being able to get to Spooky Site very easily, I think is nice. Being able to get to Raging Storm basically just as easily, especially if you do that 2-4 and then your 6 is a Moana, which inks from the discard, like your Sail or something, and then also allows you to ink again. Now you're at 6 ink.
Wait, what?
Because of the Cindy.
Oh, ink again from Cindy.
Right, inking it from Cindy. Right. So now you're at 8 ink on turn 4, right?
It's disgusting.
No.
5. Sorry, turn 5.
Well, yeah, 5, yeah.
Turn 3, you played the Cindy. Turn 4, you played the Moana. Turn 5, you have 8 ink, and you're playing Raging Storm, which is kind of crazy.
So gross.
But you know what? If it's more aggro on turn 4, you're playing Spooky Site. So
yeah,
that's fine. The problem is that's a lot of pieces to need. And
yeah,
you're right. I looked into Mufasa. I want more top end, but it kind of needs to be more removal. Like I'm playing Let It Go and Hades in my Amber Sapphire. I wish I could play. I want to play more Let It Go, frankly. But like your top end characters are Hades and Surfer Stitch, right? And Surfer Stitch is great to draw cards, but it requires 2 characters on the board, which you think, oh, it's just 2 characters. But like you're playing Raging Storm, right? You can't follow a Raging Storm the next turn with a Surfer Stitch. That's worthless. You're also not really playing a ton of characters. You're not flooding the board or anything. You also you have a lot of ink, but you don't necessarily have a ton of cheap characters that you can just be like Tipo, Basil, and then play the Surfer Stitch in the same turn. So Surfer Stitch is not great after a Raging Storm. Hades, now that's great. But then you've got like your next step down is Moana or Pete. And then from there it's just Cindy and Tipo, right? You're like there's I've seen some builds run is it Nakoma? The 4/6, 4 cost?
Yeah.
Sarabi has been an option. The 3
Sarabi.
Yeah. The 3 cost 4/4. Bagheera, right? That was played in Amber Amethyst. But these are all kind of not big characters. You want to be able to capitalize on having a billion ink, and you want to be able to play these big bombs. Unfortunately, none of the bombs are affecting the board. They're really just trying to like win the game, which doesn't do much for aggro or even the slightly more aggressive mid-range decks like an Amethyst Steel could be, right? Where they can just double dock or dock Yzma and like flood the board with a bunch of characters, even after you've done something like a Raging Storm, especially if they start playing something like the Library. So Mufasa's cool because you get cards back from your Inkwell, because a problem in the mirrors or in control mirrors, even with like Blurple, is Hades, your Hades, right? And you're playing the Cauldron, which
what you're playing? What
Cauldron? The Black Cauldron.
What did you play?
Yeah, interestingly, like it is nice to be able to, because you're banishing your characters with Raging Storm. It is nice to be able to use some of that extra ink for something. It's still very, very slow.
Yeah.
But
The one of.
it's a one of. I almost wouldn't mind it being like a two of, but it works very similar to like Carpet Bag, in my opinion. You have these extra ink at the end of your control turn. Your turn, you play all your stuff that you want to play, and you have extra ink. You either throw a couple cards on, throw a card under there, and then keep throwing cards under there, and then you now have this additional pool of cards to play from your hand, from underneath it, as if they're in your hand. Similar to Merlin's Carpet Bag, like you use it for your extra ink. But being a one of, you can never get rid of it. It's stuck in your hand. You don't want to throw it away with Tipo or Cindy, because now you'll never get that card again. And cards going into your inkwell with Let It Go into the unknown. Yeah, right. So that's what this is leading to. Hades into the unknown, Let It Go. They put your Hades in your inkwell. Now you could play something like Mufasa and potentially get them back. Maybe. Might be an option.
Yeah.
It is.
The more ink you put down in there, though, the harder it is to get the card you want out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's card draw, and it's like, I mean, it is a little greedy, but man, imagine I have 18 ink, Brad, and I throw down my one of Mufasa out of my deck, and we're in an Amber Sapphire mirror. I get 2 cards back in my hand, the same as I would with Surfer Stitch, and then you have to remove that Mufasa, or next turn, I'm playing 36 inks worth of cards, okay? Like, that's insane. I'm just ink for days. I don't have the cards in my hand to support that kind of ink. But then you've also got Radigan, right? Radigan's great if you're ink from your discard with Moana. But again, completely greedy. Does nothing to control the board.
Yeah.
Still dies to Raging Storm.
That's why he's the greedy genius.
Yeah. Who were others
I
looked at? There was some others I looked at that are not terrible. Oh, Grammatala. If you got 18 ink, Grammatala is -6 in cost. So a -6 cost 6/6 quest for 2, not terrible, but it's vanilla. It doesn't do anything, right? Radigan.
We talked about that Podcana. I talked about last week, right? With after a Raging Storm, you play that Tala for free. You bring Lilo back from the discard, and then you get your draw off Stitch. That combo is sick. I don't have
that's a lot.
I don't have 2 of those 3 in the build that I have, but
yeah,
that I'm looking at. But
I think that was magical.
Yeah, throwing Lilo in there is awkward too, because there's no way to like to play Lilo in that scenario correctly, because you want to ramp on 2, and then on 4, like you said, you've already played through the play line. You're looking for ramp on 2, ramp on 4, or ramp on 3, so on and so forth. How are you getting Lilo in there? And better yet, even if you're on the board, how are you getting her in the discard? That's why she works so well in the Dogs deck, is because you can just throw her in the discard and pull her out at any time, right?
Cheese Master.
It is Dreamland, but but it is and Cheese Master,
right.
Which we don't have in Sapphire, Amber. Yeah.
The biggest thing I look at in Amber Sapphire, like looking at big cards, Simba, right? Brad knows about it in Amber Ruby. We could talk that more, but great card. Greedy though, doesn't do anything but get you more characters later. Grandpappy, whatever. You have to remove damage, but it, to do that kind of stuff, it's greedy. Wreck-It Ralph just gains lore. You've got a lot of big vanillas, like Chef Louis. I think there's other big vanillas. I guess Radigan's basically a big vanilla. Duck, even from the Infinite Combo Duck. Strong cards, not bad, but like doesn't remove. Chip and Dale returns characters from your discard. Cool. Again, all of this is just kind of greedy. It doesn't. I say greedy, but I just mean like it doesn't stop your opponent from doing what they're doing, which in a control deck like this is often what you need to be doing. You win the board, and then whatever you have left over, you quest, and that's how you win, because you finally exhausted all the cards they can play. So it's an interesting deck. I've been liking. I'll admit, way better than that detective nonsense from last set. But you know,
you didn't give that a fair shake. You didn't give that a fair shake, and that did not have enough time to be successful. Like I wish that came out. Like Josh introduced that deck weeks ahead of time because I feel like that was going somewhere. I love that deck so much, but we are past it. We're in a new meta. I'm not going to argue with you about
this
it.
is the reason Amber.
You got past that.
Yeah, I whooped.
You got past that deck
easy.
when you found you had to dig through like 20 cards to find your Under the Sea in that set championship at Bodox that I couldn't even play the whole tournament in anyway. But like I felt good that day when I took down Blurple that first, and I had a mirror match the second one, and then I played you, and I'm like, all right, this is gonna be tough, and I altered as well as I could, and we went to 3.
Yeah,
we went to 3 games.
I think you could have. But that last one, I should have lost that.
Maybe
you played nothing but like
maybe.
1 and 2 drops. Like you just decided to play this like crazy aggro line thing. It was weird.
Yeah, at the end there, it was bad.
But
yeah,
let's Amber Sapphire.
Let's move on.
I was just gonna close it up with Amber Sapphire is basically like Baja. It has a board wipe now, so you just get to your board and then try and control the game from there. Just doesn't have those like pile of impactful high cost cards like Silver, Basil, even Clarabelle to some extent, the other Basil. There's ones I'm missing, but it just doesn't have those, which is makes it better and worse in some examples.
Yeah. I want to talk about my deck. I know we're running out of time here, but I've been really looking at, as Andy alluded to earlier, Amber Ruby. This set looks like it's a lot of fun. It is not a Simba deck, as might be a surprise to Andy as well. But ultimately, all the conversation.
Isn't Simba in that deck?
Not the old one, not the one I'm looking at now.
Okay.
Which deck are you talking?
I thought you were testing one earlier.
No, the one I'm
like earlier this week.
I might have
had Simba in it.
No.
Okay.
Maybe I don't think so. But no, the deck I'm looking at right now is from Wonderful on the online on Dreamborn. I couldn't think of the name of the website, and he's been an Amber Ruby person for a very, very long time. He had a very fun version of it last set that both Hunter and I tested out quite a bit and had fun with. I talked to Humble today specifically. I was like theory crafted about it, the differences between his and Humble deck, and Humble was straight up. He's like, listen, like as much as I want it to be real, I think it's like this deck is 0% against Blurple right now, and it just that's the way that it is. It's like every other matchup feels good, and I believe him because I'm looking at the play line here as we talked about the Mulan into Ruben into playing the Horseman on turn 3 is absolutely insane, and you can also do that through Angel singing on 2 not on 2, I guess Angel singing on 3 into Akud, and all these other things to get things out there. I should share I'll have a link to the description.
I was gonna say on turn 2, but you're right. You need one more ink. You need one more ink. I was trying to do the math. Because Angel can sing on turn 2 if you're on the draw.
Yeah, but she can only play up to a 4 cost with a Cood. Yeah, so and the 4 costs that the only 4 costs that I have in here are Ariel and Sarabi that we also mentioned earlier, which comes into play both one. This is a Amber Ruby song. There are 15 songs in the deck between Della's Moon Lullaby, Akud, World's Greatest Criminal Mind, and Grab Your Bow. And what Sarabi, where she comes into play, is reducing the strength of these big, we have a lot of big strength characters out there now in the mid game, where Sarabi just brings them down to 1 or nothing, where you can take it out with the Horseman, you can take it out with the 3-cost Sisu coming back into play. Lots of fun play lines in here as well. And then the Horseman, of course, when he comes out and banishes something on a good turn where you can, buff your other characters from that banish. Seems like there's a lot of things to do here, and when you're healing the Mulan, that opens her up to survive a shift from the elite archer that's been reprinted and fabled, and doing a whole 5 damage across 3 characters on the other side of the board. So
shift 5?
I really like the idea of this shift 5, but you can get it out cheaper, of course, with a Cood and
so
Ruben
you can
and other
Mulan,
things as well.
Ruben, and then turn 3 play, shift Mulan. Right, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so that helps on the aggro lines if you got a wide board ahead of you super early. But yeah, I really need to just put it to paper and test it out. The only thing that I'm struggling with right now is I only have one Ohana. There's 3 Ohana means families in here. I only have one of them, so I might have to hit up Kirsten and Andy's discount dungeon before tomorrow night if this is what I'm playing. I don't think I have a play set of the 3-cost legendary Aurora from a few sets ago. It's at 7. So I'll have to double check that. I haven't put anything together. I literally just organized everything and put it away.
Send me a list.
Recently, so I'll make you a list.
Is that just for grab
I'll make
your
you a
bow?
list, but
Is Aurora just for grab your bow?
probably, yeah.
Because that's
She's
the only 5
earliest you can
song.
sing that is with her.
And then
Yeah,
I guess she also readies when you heal something, right? So if you
correct. Yep.
did a later game Mulan Reuben combo, you could also ready her. I think we're well into Magical Christmas Land at that point.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of. There's definitely a lot of nice combos. I think the card I saw you testing was the Ariel, the Whisper Ariel.
Ariel's
I thought
in
it was
here as
Whisper
well.
Simba.
Yeah.
I love her.
She's okay.
Gotcha. She's a beautiful foil too.
She's
I think
so
I have
pretty,
3 of them.
though.
I might just fill her out.
She feels like really
It's so pretty.
poor card draw, though, in my opinion, because it's just
not
when
great.
when you sing a song, you draw a card, right? And isn't it once per turn?
Yeah.
It's once per turn as well. Yeah, so
so like
yeah.
you
The
replacing all of songs, which is meh.
But a lot of times it's 2 cards at a time though, because you're doing Della's Moon Lullaby, you're doing a Cood. Those 2 songs each draw you a
Fair.
card as well. So if you got Ariel out there and
Replaces
boosted,
itself.
it's a 2 card or replaces itself.
They are
better.
already replaceable, so there is an additional card there. A Cood.
Sure, you get
Yeah.
cards, but saying
Yeah.
you're not drawing 2.
But yeah, it seems really interesting, and I like the song version of this. He has both Humble and Wonderful both have another version that's very Simba-esque, but they've both taken out Simba. They still have the same like ramp lines and everything, but Simba's just not in there. And Humble's told me personally, just the deck feels better without Simba, which is a shame because half the fun of that deck is the Simba roulette when you can get that really get that going. But yeah, the song version's what stood out to me today, and I think this is probably what I want to try out tomorrow night, assuming that I have all the cards. So,
well,
in fact, I think 2 of my horsemans are still Ron's that I'm still holding on to. So I eventually have to get those back to him. I got a couple of your Dumbos still because I'm eventually like what I told Humble today. I told him when he said the Blurple's just tearing this deck up and just basically the entire meta. Still, I was like, well. I was planning on giving you guys your Dumbos back, but I might have to fall back on being the Blurple Mare.
We don't need
in
them.
this set.
I went through and like unsleeved all of the
eventually.
decks and stuff, and we were just going through the piles. We've got so many Dumbies. We've got
This
so
is
many
an
cards.
autographed
Send
Dumby.
me a darn list.
I have more autographed Dumbies than like a playset apparently because I already have them in my deck, and this is an extra autographed Dumby. Apparently, and that's so foil autographed.
You're such a sweetheart. Yeah. My biggest regret in Milwaukee was I forgot to ask her to sign it with a gold or silver pin to make it really shine. Because Ron even told me ahead of time. He's like, make sure you get to do the silver pin or the gold pin. It looks really good on the card.
Yeah,
I forgot. I got up there and I was just excited to say hi and meet Marina, and then yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway,
you're gonna say something. Andy.
No, I was gonna say that Zan from the Rare Hunter podcast, he was basically forced by Earlmeister to list his top 3 like week 1 decks in the meta. And while Zan specifically said that he does think Blurple is like the standout deck currently, that he didn't really want to pick a sort of best deck or top 3 or say which are the best ones because he thinks this is going to be somewhat of a reactionary meta because there are so many decks that are potentially viable that it's going to, if we see Blurple do well and it's the next tournament, you could expect it's 40% of the meta, right? Well, now it's X, Y, or Z, the next best deck or something.
Yeah.
Did specifically say when forced into it that his number 3 pick was Ruby Amber. And he said that surprisingly, it eats dogs. And he thought dogs was going to be fairly well represented. The tree was all the rage before the set started. Everyone was out tilling their land, ready to plant the trees. And I guess they all got scared of the lumberjack mare because I have not seen. I still think dogs with the tree and like the aggro decks, even not just dogs, like the Amber Steel one that Kirsten played. I do think those decks still have a very viable chance and are very scary for some of these more control decks like Blurple and Amber Sapphire. But I've seen a lot less of them in the world. This thing has existed. But like you said, Vince has been practicing a bunch. A lot of our friends have been practicing. Our team has been practicing far more than I have. And, I've seen less dogs than I would have expected. Dogs has been less dominant than it was hyped up to be. So it'll definitely be really interesting. We've got a billion events these next 2 weeks. So
it's insane.
Yeah.
It's gonna make
and
a
then
really
Ghent
bad
will
joke.
be right around the corner, and I feel like Ghent will really kind of seal in what the meta is like potentially going to look like. So it'll be interesting to see.
That'd be a month into the
which
Ghent's gonna be
should
a
be
big one.
plenty of time for
sure.
people to cook and react to how these early events are shaping out to be, because I feel like early events in a set are just kind of like hodgepodge. Have the people who are like Sapphire Steel is like gonna be the thing. They're like, the cult. And then there's the people who are like, oh, Amber Sapphire is gonna be a real thing, and they really want to play that. And then you're gonna have your diehard Blurples and your diehard Amethyst Steel, and then you'll have your Christmas Land decks like Ruby Amber.
Anything Brad plays,
a lot of comfort.
I don't know. I feel like people are going to.
Yeah.
I feel like people are going to be a little all over the place because it definitely shook the meta up, this new set, like having Raging Storm back in play, basically a different B prep. Like, I feel like that definitely motivates people to be like, okay, well, we gotta figure out Amber Sapphire, and Moana helps too with Cindy and all that. So I think that it'll be interesting, but I think Ghent will be the real like solidifier and like, okay, this is what the meta is making out to be.
Ghent will definitely be a very strong showing of the Winterspell meta.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think a lot of people are going to play comfort. We know that with Vince, he was testing a lot of decks, and the biggest thing I felt from Vince was that, he felt the most confident on the decks that he was the most comfortable with. Amber Sapphire being a wildly new deck to the meta, it is very hard to get. I said Amber Sapphire is like Baja. Fungus said after he won that he had something like 1,500 hours. Granted, Lore Guide Vince has done the math and has issued a CR 78.3 warning to Fungus for illegal amount of hours spent on this deck, given that there wasn't 1,500 hours in the set since the cards were released. So, time travel from Fungus, but Amber Sapphire, I think, is definitely a deck that is better the more reps you have on it and the more time you spent on it. And it just there doesn't exist the time in this particular space-time continuum for us to have tested and mastered that deck well enough for something like these CCQs or DLC Melbourne. So
I'm interested to see. Well, we'll find out.
And be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube and ring the bell so that you can be notified of what Buster, ROV Buster, thinks will win DLC Melbourne. because you think we know what we're talking about. Buster is the real
He knows
odds
what's up.
maker. Yeah.
That's
Gotta
right.
film that
He
tomorrow.
controls the outcome.
Buster controls the meta.
All right, let's put a pin on the main segment here. Appreciate your thoughts on all of that. Kirsten, would you like to take us to our villain of the week? It's a cutie.
Apologies again, too. We had to go with the cutie, like Brad said. Lumpy,
Lumpy.
6-cost inkable, playful heffalump. He's got 6 willpower and 5.
Nope.
6 strength and 5 willpower. Sorry, look, okay, it's getting late. I yapped a lot.
It is late.
He is evasive and quest for 2, and the art is by Ari Welly, and we can't forget the flavor text. Whee! This is even more fun than a game of leap log. I don't know what that is.
It is
It's like
fun.
leapfrog.
I don't know what
but
leapfrog is.
They leap
Yeah.
logs.
I leap a log. But
Yeah.
he's a cutie. I love him. And he was
Yeah.
an absolute menace in Sealed. So he gets to be the villain of the week, even though he is obviously not a villain, because how could you be a villain when you're that cute?
Exactly. Yeah. Pre-release weekend, the biggest card of the weekend, apparently. And like as Andy said earlier, 3-0 with 3 lumpies in his deck, and then Quest with Cole fighting for his life against Lumpy in their sealed event as well. Just a cute card. I thought it was appropriate to throw them in here as the meta is currently developing. We will talk about a lot more villainous cards in the next several weeks of the meta. Andy, do you have any final thoughts? This was your big one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think many people are still playing Sealed or Draft, but if you are,
always draft Lumpy.
Lumpy is so good.
Yeah.
It is a Be Our Guest approved S tier card. Possibly, quite arguably, the best limited card in the entire set. It's just, it's a French vanilla card, if you will. A vanilla with just an attribute and evasive. Man, so good. Just so good. I don't think we need to explain to you how or why it is so good. But draft a lot of lumpies and you'll win a lot of games.
The ROV Discord actually has a lumpy emoji because he's so cute. So consider checking that out.
Join the Discord.
Let's go into the join the Discord. Yeah, let's jump into the artist showcase really quickly. Ari Welly has 35 cards in the game. A few of them are reprints or promos with the Queen, Conceited Ruler. But 35 cards in here. Lantern was a reprint, a very powerful card that we might see a lot more of here as the set goes on. An Enchanted Beast from set 2, the Beast Relentless. Nala. Yeah, the 2-cost Nala that came out a couple sets ago, I think was in Fabled. She was a force to be reckoned with. We'll probably see her in some of the Amber Steel aggro that is still around, apparently. And lots of good. I cannot not mention Donald Duck, Flustered Sorcerer, 7-cost uninkable 5/6 quest for 3 and making your opponent quest to 25. Come on, that's a great card.
I'm getting word from Vince down under mate who says, "Do not forget about Zipper." Zipper is one of, if not the best character that this artist has ever drawn. Just sorry that Vince was message. I had it in my ear. From
appropriately. Vince is always listening, and that's a little bit of Be Our Guest lore from your first appearance on there. So Zipper, never forget Zipper. But yeah, we'll have a link in the description below for all of the art by Ari Welly here, and hopefully see a lot more of their cards in the game. Any final thoughts, guys?
Pick Lumpy.
Right. We appreciate we love Lumpy. Let us know your thoughts on Villain of the Week. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you're joining us on audio, please rate and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen.
And if you're joining us on YouTube, which if you're not, you really should. We have a ton of fun over here. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified of all of our future content. We've got Deck Test Tuesday. We've got the Mayor's Meta Report, which should be starting up soon. New season premiere coming out. Check it out. And a ton of other things. So make sure you stick around.
So silly.
We understand your time is valuable, so we appreciate you spending some of it with us. If you would like to follow along as we plot our devious plans, you can find us on all the socials at Rules of Villainy. We also have a growing community on Discord in which you can join with the link below. On top of that, you could also follow me, ROV Kirsten, on Twitter and Instagram, or ROV underscore Kirsten on Instagram.
We gotta change that.
Look, okay, I think it's too little too late for that. I don't think I can actually change that. But you know, it is what it is. You'll find me either way because search functions exist. It'll still pop up. You'll find me. Just go find out for yourself.
Link in the description.
But definitely join the Discord because I
100%.
like to see your pets. We have a cute Rules of Villainy channel. Show me the pets.
Rules of Villainy. Until next week, stay safe, fellow villains. Be wary of wannabe heroes who want to disrupt your villainous plans. And as always, remember the rules of villainy.